never felt uncomfortable as far as the vibe here at all. So that never even crossed my mind that I would even feel uncomfortable here. I've always felt comfortable.
It's very, very good to hear. Obviously, our work is never done, though. We always want you to feel like if there's something going on outside the studio or inside the studio that makes you feel like the studio could be doing more, that's when I want the conversations to start. I want you
right.
guys to know that I have a virtual open door and a physical open door. If you're here virtually or if you're here with me physically, come on in. Of course, not first because it could be changing after class. But this is a place that we celebrate conversations. So when George Floyd was murdered, we definitely hiccuped a little in responding. But I have to say I'm sorry, and I also have to admit that I didn't know what the right thing to say was. And I do think our nation was in a place where we sort of have demanded people say the right thing instead of giving people space to say what they're feeling and thinking, and then be patient with how what they're thinking and feeling could be wrong or could be not necessarily parallel with the thoughts of what's happening. So anyway, when that happened, what would you have liked to have seen the studio do to respond to make you feel like, God, they have my back? I'm their employee, they have my back.
I wasn't actually really looking for any type of like a specific response. Just to say, if you just expressed that you supported the fact that people were upset and that people had a right to be upset about the situation. I think a lot of times, especially with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, the actual term Black Lives Matter, when people say that, if they're not really familiar with the actual organization and they just hear Black Lives Matter, sometimes that can be taken out of context.
Yeah.
And if you're not fully aware of the actual organization and what they do, and you just go by what, I don't know, some people that are like, that I've heard that are against that movement, I think they're against like what it sounds like. Because it can be taken like it could be like inclusive, like only Black Lives Matter. And that's totally not what that movement is about. Right. But I think a lot of times when people hear that, they might automatically assume that that's what that is. And that's not what that is. And I think that if people just have an open dialogue and not be so worried about there being a decisive opposition to what you're saying, and just have a conversation, an open dialogue about the situation, so that if you're not educated about it, you'll become educated about it,
right?
And you'll have a better awareness, and you won't be ignorant to some of the issues and the facts that movement is trying to convey.
Yeah.
So I think just having an open dialogue and just having conversations in open forum and just having people just bounce ideas off each other and have questions and be able to answer those questions without there being such a
as if
to
we
automatically think that you're going to want to
each other, as if we were against, as if one movement is against another movement, as if
exactly.
I think what I was nervous about expressing right when it came out was I didn't know, like you were saying, enough about the actual movement, but I knew that it was a specific movement. And I also knew that by saying Black Lives Matter, some people feel like that means you're saying someone else's life doesn't. Right. And so I wanted to have my own education about it. And I feel, when I say it now, I feel very empowered. Like, of course my life matters, because I recognize that there's a movement out there to protect people, or at least empower people who have felt marginalized. Right. So, and always it will come back to, I just want to make sure that you know that, that I have your back. And if you ever felt marginalized by me or by the studio, that I do have an open door to hear about it. Right. And that I'm not necessarily afraid of being called someone who marginalizes people. I'm more afraid that I would say, I don't care what you think. I would rather say, okay, let's talk about that. Because what does that mean? Why would
Right.
you think that? What have
Right.
I done that indicates that? And of course, I'm going to feel like initially defensive, like, what did I do? But then at the same time, it's more like, well, okay, let's look at it.
Right.
What have I done? And you've been with us for a long time, and you massage the spectrum of people. And I'd love to know if you've ever been made to feel uncomfortable when someone walks in the door. And
Never.
not the
And
same color.
that's funny too,
So,
because I do come across a wide spectrum of people, different, from different races, economical backgrounds, everything. And I can't think of an incident where I felt marginalized at all. The environment here at BYA has been awesome, and I love it here. And I think the core people that I always see, I think they feel that, and that's the reason why they keep coming back, because
that's awesome.
because of the vibe that's here.
Gosh, it's been so long since we saw you. I'm so glad you're back.
So when I heard that there was some, like, I don't know, like some people had issues with you, I was confused. I was like, wait a second. I was just confused because it was like, I don't get it. I don't understand, because I've never had any
I don't
kind
mind
of
issues with
issues.
me. I don't mind issues with me. I mind that, and the people that are closest to me wouldn't tell me that they had an issue with me. I'm going to bring up issues with people all the time because I can be pretty strong-willed, and
Yep.
we've definitely backed a certain horse. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've definitely picked a specific style, and we're going that direction. Right. But I've just found the best people have joined me. The best people that I work with are the ones who are like, Jen, and then I'm like, what? And then we talk it out.
Right.
So
Right.
But we've missed you so much because massage is a huge component of the growth part of our studio. We do only do the same 90-minute yoga, but we are a big proponent of like spiritual and physical and mental health. Mm-hmm. And so talk to me about how massage is a big part of those three things: spiritual, physical, mental health.
Well, I think especially now, considering with the whole pandemic and the COVID thing and how like people have been forced to be isolated and not have physical contact with people, to not have that over an extended period of time, that can take a toll on your body, not just physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's only natural that humans, they seek and they want like touch. The like the simple act of just giving someone a hug it's immeasurable sometimes.
Yeah.
And the fact that for the past couple of months you're not even able to do that, that could take a toll. So as far as massage, now that we're in a situation, in a position where we can do that safely,
yeah,
I think the fact that people haven't had that kind of contact with the way things are going now, and the way, as far as this is society, and like there's a tension and a stress that has been building over these past couple of months.
So true.
And sometimes people need a release, and that could be yoga, that could be massage, that could be Reiki, that can be whatever. And I think the fact that we can provide that, I think just giving the opportunity for someone to take advantage of that is awesome. And I think that people should be able to take advantage of that. So
yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's great to be able to, well, massage has always been safe, I would say. Yeah. The yoga studio has made the allocation for the students to be far enough apart so that we're not sharing the space too close. But in massage, you're going to be really close to the client. So so both the client and the massage therapist will have their masks on.
Yeah.
and the sheets are cleaned after, and the space is sanitized. But that's always been happening.
Yeah, I was like that. That's been a
So,
protocol
yeah,
before any of this happened.
right.
So
So
we
bringing
just
you
stepped it
back,
up more. That's all.
yeah, right. So just bringing you back is just you're just going to keep doing your job with a couple of added precautions in
Right.
place. But these students, like you said, haven't been maybe touched, especially people who live by themselves. And
Exactly.
yeah, and I mean, one of the most wonderful things about massage is that this touch, it's healing. It's healing touch. It's physical touch, but it's a healing touch. And
Yep.
as soon as the process begins, the client and the massage therapist sort of come to an agreement that this is a safe place to heal. And I think that we're so lucky to have you back, because that's what people have always been saying about you. Like, oh my gosh, Earl, basically you're a witch doctor. You
my
set the
hands.
mood, you
It's my
heal the
hands.
bodies, you send them out there. What got you into massage?
Ooh. Well, when I was little, I think I told this story before, but when I was little, like my mom, when she would come home from work, she would make my sister and I rubber feet, like after a long day's work. So we had the rubber
That's a
feet.
good son.
And I was like, I don't know, 5, 6 years old. And we used to hate it. But over time, my sister, she still hated it. She never liked it. But over time, for me, just seeing the look on my mom's face afterwards and like seeing the relief on her face is like, no, this is I'm glad that I'm able to help my mom in this way. So that was the seed that was planted. And then just growing up, and you know, like sometimes you might go behind somebody and just rub their shoulders or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like, always got compliments on how I rub people's shoulders, and oh, you have I was always told that I had like a nice touch. And sometimes people even ask me, hey, did you ever go to massage school, whatever? And I'm like, nah, I never have. But I've always had an interest in it, and then going through my getting out into the world and starting my career in various areas. That was always in the back of my mind, like massage, but it was just in the back of my mind.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I had an opportunity to get into it, but like I found a school, and I went and I visited the school and took a tour, and then I went to my employer at the time and was trying to arrange a way that I can go to school and still work there, and they wasn't having it, so I couldn't. It didn't work out, so that was just like, well, maybe it's not meant to happen. And then fast forward like 10 years after that, a similar opportunity came up where I saw a school, and
10
like,
years?
you know what? Yeah,
10
like
years?
10 years.
Wow.
And
you stuck with it. You kept it in your head.
It was always in the back of my mind.
Amazing.
Always. And at that time, I was working for Trader Joe's. I was working at Trader Joe's, and I saw this guy. He had these blue scrubs on, and it was a logo on the scrubs. And I recognized the logo because when I was like looking up massage schools, I remember that logo. It was a massage school. And I was like, oh, I remember that. And then I was talking to him. I was like, hey, you go to school? And he's like, yeah, man, my school is right down the street. Da, 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 nice. I love it. I was like, down the street, really? So went back home, did some more research. I was like, wow. So I visited that school, took a tour, same thing, went to my employer at Trader Joe's. And I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, can I like adjust my schedule? And they were on board. I was like, yeah. So
yay.
Thank you, Trader Joe's, for allowing me to do that. So
I love Trader Joe's.
I went to school. I love it too.
I'm so happy to say good things about Trader Joe's.
Yeah. So I was going to school full time and Trader Joe's full time. Like I was literally like get up, go to school from like 8 to 2. And then the school was like a mile and a half down the road. So I get off school at 2, get in my car, change my clothes while I'm driving to get to Trader Joe's. It started at 2:30, and then work from 2:30 to midnight. Go home, take a nap,
Sleep.
get up, do the same thing. And I did that for 8 months.
You are awesome.
And then, you know,
There was a reason we
I was
should have met.
started to
I
do
knew
this. So that was the beginning of my career.
Oh my gosh, girl.
So,
You
but I'm glad I
embody
did it too.
you embody grit and grace. You are so
I'm
cool.
glad I found it. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're back. It's been so long. The quarantine was tough. But I know that through the quarantine, little positive side effect was that you got to spend some quality time with your lovely wife, who is a Bikram yogi.
Yes.
So that's
Yes,
so cool.
yes.
Yeah, so that's so cool that you got to have that time. And that you built her a little hot room. Isn't that right?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. We had a guest room in our basement.
Mhm.
So I put up a little plastic barrier in like
Nice.
half the room and put a little heater in there and some mats in the mirror.
I never knew that. A plastic barrier. That's pretty cool. Did that make it more humid? Did that keep the humidity in?
Yeah. It was actually plastic tarps to like for painting.
Yeah.
So I took one of those.
Wow.
And then taped it on the wall, the floor, and ceiling. It had a little flap so you can get in and out through the closet. So it got pretty warm in there. So
that's so awesome.
Yeah,
did she use our library classes, or did she practice with our library classes while she was practicing?
No. She didn't. She actually had a recording of Bikram himself.
That's wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yep.
Well, hopefully she'll come back soon. What's that?
Yeah, she got it from the source.
Oh,
from Bikram himself. Yeah.
That's my teacher. He's crazy, but I love him so much.
Yeah.
So, that's really great. I'm so happy to be talking here with Earl Newman, our massage therapist here. It's we share with you guys every Tuesday a little something about the studio, and wonderful news. Earl is coming back and his schedule is going to be nice and busy. So check the schedule for that. And we have 60-minute and 90-minute massages. We used to offer 30, but I know you and I kind of agree that 30 minutes is just not enough time.
It's like an appetizer.
It is.
Yeah.
Just not enough time.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about 60 and 90 and how they work.
Well, with 60, when you come in and you want to get a massage, it's custom. So if you come in and you just want to relax, I can relax you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to come in and do like a full body and don't have any really specific areas you want to work on, you just want to like a full body and just want to relax, I can do that. And if you want to do 60 or 90, depending on whether it's either 60 or 90, I'll tailor that to what you want. Mm-hmm. If you come in and you have like an issue with your shoulder or your leg is hurting or something, and you want a little bit more focus on that, then I can do that as well. Mm-hmm. So if you came in, you want to do a 60-minute, he's like, yeah, I want to, I just kind of relax, but like my elbow or my hamstring, mm-hmm. I'll kind of focus so that I'll spend a little extra time on whatever area is bothering you, but I'll still try to hit the total body so that you kind of get a relax. Because the last thing you want is to come in and not, let's say this part is massage. If I come in, I just massage that and then I didn't touch anything else. Mm-hmm. You're going to come out of there. This is going to feel kind of nice, but like the rest, it's not. So you want the blood to be flowing everywhere.
Yeah.
So as far as 60 and 90, I mean, I recommend the 90 because with the 90, I'm able to hit all the areas and get the blood circulating and all that. But I can work with 60. I can do some things with 60 minutes as well. Mm-hmm. So if you've never had a massage before, you come in, 60-minute might be a good option for you. That way you can kind of get an idea. And he's like, oh, I like this. And I guarantee that if you did a 60, when it's over, you're going to wish you did a 90.
Yeah, I think the same way.
You're gonna wish
and I think sometimes somebody comes in and they're like, oh, my shoulder's been bothering me. And you lay them on the mat and you're like, actually, it's this side of your neck.
Right.
It's the problem. And when you as the massage therapist get your hands on them, you can be like, I'm glad that you told me where it's hurting, but actually I need a little bit more time in this region because I think it's hurting because this part is tight. So again, that's another reason why I'd be a proponent of the 90 minutes, because it just gives you this time to explore what's going on in the body, because we definitely know our bodies, but sometimes we get a little centrally focused.
Mhm.
And like my ankle's been hurting me for weeks and weeks, and it's all I can think about. And then you lay on the massage table, you're like, but your hips are tight because
Right.
of it. So let me
Yeah.
help you. So so the massage therapist can really take his or her time with what's going on in the body, if you give them the time. If you give
Right.
them that time, they can take that time. So that was one of the reasons we pulled the 30 minutes from the offerings, because we just knew that it's not really even enough time to get to know what's going on. It feels great though. 30 minutes massage. I'm not going to complain.
Right.
But we just pulled it because we wanted to give the students what you really have to offer, which is 60 and 90 minutes. So I can't wait to see you here in the studio. Massage is on the schedule pretty soon. We're getting Earl retrained with our COVID-19 protocols, and like reintegrated back into the busy studio. And hopefully you're feeling safe here, that the protocols that we're following are making you feel
Absolutely.
comfortable.
I'm excited to be back.
That's
come
great.
back
I'm
and
so happy to have you
Get
back.
working.
And hey, you guys, get in and get your yoga, and get in and get your massage. Take care of yourself. Earl,
Yes.
I'm so thrilled to have you here.
I'm thrilled to be back.
Yay. Well, I'll see you soon. Have an awesome
Alrighty.
day.
You too.